This tripod is stupid. Hello, hello. How are you? This tripod is crap. Subi, how are you? I'm in the office and it's so quiet in here. Look at me being all professional. Hi. Okay, so I got something really cool today and I wanted to share that first because I haven't opened it. So I thought we could all open it together. It's going to be fantastic. You loved his take on Apple products. You know what's funny? I do all things Apple. Apple Watch, AirPods, Beats, MacBook, iMac, iPad, all the things. I know, Starla, I'm so nervous. Okay, so I know there isn't very many people in here, but as you know, I do the side hustle thingy where I sell tobacco products up here in the mountains. And so I went and picked up my tobacco products in at the post office, and the mother-in-law sent something amazing. Can you see? It says Murder and Co. So we're gonna open it. This room is very nice. We're gonna open it. Perla, how are you? And see what it is, because I think it's like one of those murder mystery things. So it's a couples thing. It was to both Fools and myself. But in case you're wondering where to get this, told you I wasn't lying when I like the murder stuff. So we're gonna open it. We're gonna see what's going on before we tell stories. So Fools doesn't know. I mean, he's watching it now, but so it says, may all your murders be solved and your lovers not be serial killers. Oh, how precious. I'm gonna put that on my wall. Okay, guys, let's see. Ooh, this is so weird. I feel like a child doing an unboxing. We have a fancy little magnifying glass thing. I don't even know what to say about it. Hold on. I can't even open it. Good grief. This is what happens when you have stubs as. Ooh, look at that. Okay. It's like a little monocle. But yeah, that's cool. I do feel like a child. Like I'm like, look at what I got. Oh my gosh. Okay, so we should actually do this game on live. That would be cool. You deserve to be removed from the planet. I'm just going to tell you. Don't throw anything away. Each case will consist of 6 files containing an objective letter, pertinent information, photos, and images of the gifts and evidence. Okay. This is fun. Oh, we got a fancy little envelope, as if we're going to... Tell me this isn't amazing. Some little photos. Oh, this is gonna be fun. Fools, we're gonna have to do this on the internet. I'm looking at him, but he can't look at me. Is he gonna look at me? No, because he's not really watching. Okay, so little evidence. Ooh, look at this girl. Hello, lady. And some puzzle pieces. So that's fun. Okay, anyway, it's one of those murder mystery game things. You've got to read all the evidence and do this stuff. He's on here. Yeah, Tiffany, just because he's on here doesn't mean he's actually on here. You know how many people bounce back and forth between chats, which is totally fine. I'm not trying to hog anyone, except for my man when he should be giving me some damn support. He's looking at me through the window like a weirdo. Okay, So Fools and I kind of discussed this, and he's got a better idea about how I present this, but I think since I made a commitment and today is the first day of trying this, what I decided I'm going to do is just read a couple yes, Jeremiah. Read a couple news articles that I found. One of them is one of the ones that I was talking about last night that I didn't have all the information. Oh my God, shut up. And kind of see how this plays out, because obviously the lives, I should be more interactive with you guys. And I don't know how that's going to work out when I read these. Thank you, Jeno. It is very fancy. It took me many days to paint it and do all the things. So, I will forewarn you, a lot of this, it's news articles, so they're going to be graphic. There is one that talks about a child, and most of you know, well, a lot of us in here will have the hard time about the children cases, but I think those are still important and they still need to be spoken about. So I will read, I'm going to do my best reading, about the Kentucky woman that I was kind of discussing yesterday. So this one is a Kentucky woman was arrested after mother's severed body was found cooked inside of the kitchen. So, a woman has been arrested after police found her mother's dismembered body cooking inside a kitchen pot. Now, before I go further, these are not stories that I made up. This is actually the news. This popped up on my news feed yesterday, and this is kind of where I've gotten the idea to maybe just talk about the current event stuff. So Kentucky State Police said a man called police on Wednesday after discovering a gruesome scene at a home on Bearly Ridge Road in Robertson County in Kentucky. The man said he and another person were hired by the homeowner to do work on a building on the property. When no one answered the door, he began looking around and found a pile of hair near the house and a blood-stained mattress on the back porch. I'm turning my food off. Hold on, I need a fan. I'm getting hot and flustered. When Kentucky State Police arrived, there were also drag marks leading out behind the house where he found what he believed to be Trudy's dismembered body. When they arrived, the officers, they noted her arms, legs, and head had been removed. There was another blood-soaked mattress folded in half next to the body, which contained multiple severed body parts and organs. According to police, the man said she hadn't heard from Trudy since Tuesday night when she walked with them to the property's gate and appeared to lock it. So remember, they were going there to do work on the property. That's the last time they heard from the mom. He said Trudy's daughter, who's 32, was casting spells on them and was being confrontational that day. So she's either mentally unstable or just a weirdo. Kentucky State Police obtained a search warrant to get inside the home where they found the daughter alone, not responding to police orders. Police deployed multiple canisters of tear gas and talked with her using a robot before able to arrest her without incident. Troopers noted that she appeared to have blood on her face and clothing. Inside the kitchen, a pot with cooked human body parts was found inside of the oven. Kentucky State Police said it was still warm to the touch. The daughter has been charged with obstructing governmental operations, tampering with physical evidence, and abuse of a corpse. More charges may be filed, however, as the death investigation remains ongoing. She is being held at the Bourbon County Detention Center, and Mount Olivet, Ovet, I don't know. Kentucky is about 2 hours northeast of Louisville. So that was that one yesterday. And I don't know if anyone has any comments. I'm trying to figure out, like I said, how to be interactive on this after reading a story, because I'm sure I missed a lot of comments. But what's interesting, obviously they don't have all the information, but there's no murder charges quite yet for her. Hello, hello. I love my woman who can cook. She's gonna make sandwiches. Oh. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure. I'm just wondering, where do you have to be mentally in order to go to the extreme of cutting up a body and then putting it on a stove and then cooking it? I'm sorry, 99. I'm so sorry. So sorry. But Kentucky. Yeah, so when I started doing some searches for these crime cases that I thought I would talk about, if you know, you know. I was like, Florida crime. Yeah, Florida and their people are crazy. My apologies if you're in Florida, but a lot of crazy stuff is in Florida. So there is that. And I guess this doesn't always have to be like murder stuff, but you know, it could be any of it. But I do have another one. This one is going to be a little more difficult to read and probably a lot more difficult for people to hear. This one does involve a child, so if that bothers you, you're more than welcome to come back at a later time. It bothers me as well, but I think people like this the child needs to be heard. And it's disgusting and unfortunate that there are people out there that we call parents that don't just give their children away to a family member or to anyone who can care for and just look, just don't have kids. If it's not going to work, then don't. Is this local news? Local as in around the US? Yes, Perla, but not local to me here. Okay, so this one, like I said, is going to be rough. You have been warned. Your advisory, I was going to put that in the headline, but I just thought I might get banned or whatever. This headline is not even a joke. Trigger warning. Trigger warning, absolutely. Thank you. It was spoiled. Mom accused of killing toddler tosses body in dumpster, told the cops she was just throwing away stinky shrimp pasta. That headline is not a joke. I did not make it up. So here we go. The trial of a 24-year-old woman in Georgia accused of killing her 20-month-old son and tossing his body in a dumpster began on Monday, with prosecutors telling jurors that in the days leading up to the toddler's death, the victim's mother had been having relationship issues, taking a large amount of narcotics, and later told police a bizarre array of stories. At one point during an interview with police, the mother explained that she stopped at a secluded dumpster in the middle of the night shortly after her son's disappearance because she was throwing away spoiled shrimp pasta. As previously reported, Leilani, which is the mother's name, in December 2022 was indicted on 19 criminal counts. So this happened in 2022, but the trial started yesterday, which is why it showed up in my newsfeed. So 19 criminal counts, including malice murder, felony murder, concealing the death of another, and making false statements to the police in the slaying of her young son named Quentin. Authorities allege that the mother, on October 5th, 2022, intentionally killed her son with an unknown object that, when used offensively against a person, did result in serious bodily injury. The felony murder charges stem from accusations that she killed Quentin while also committing other acts of aggravated assault and first-degree cruelty to a child by maliciously causing Quentin cruel and excessive physical pain in a manner that was known to the grand jury at the time of the indictment. Can we just kill these people now? Why are we even going through trial? If we know that she did it, can we just... That's how I feel about the death penalty. If there is absolute evidence this person did the thing, off with them. There's no reason that we should keep them in prisons for what? In an opening statement that lasted nearly 2 hours, Savannah, Georgia's Special Assistant District Attorney highlighted the woman's explanation for being at the remote mobile home dumpster just after 1 a.m. on the morning her son was reported missing. The evidence will show that she did not want to admit that what she threw away was Quentin's body. So she describes this trash that she threw away as stinky shrimp pasta. Prosecutors then played a tape of the police interview on October 12th. And this is her speaking. Yeah, I didn't throw away trash. There was spoiled food smelling in my car, so when I pulled around and seen the dumpster, yeah, I stopped and threw the trash away. It was spoiled like shrimp pasta. The whole car smelled like shrimp. I was like, what's that smell? I looked and I threw it away. I didn't think anything of it, to be honest. It's just old food. Kill her. Just kill her. Just do it. Just get rid of her. She added that she simply saw the opportunity and threw away the trash. Prosecutors said that she was actually disposing of her son's body, which they say was eventually recovered in pieces. She throws Quentin's body away like a piece of trash at about 1:17 in the morning. The defendant violated that most basic sacred trust of a parent in the most horrible way. In the middle of the night, she killed him, her own son, got in her car with his body, drove to a dumpster, then threw him away like a piece of trash. In the indictment, authorities allege that after killing her son, Simon repeatedly lied. So Simon is the last name of the mother. Repeatedly lied to local and federal investigators searching for her son. She admitted that she had left her home in the late hours of October 4th, 2022, to meet her drug dealer, falsely stating that the purpose of the meeting was to pay for an existing drug debt. According to prosecutors, she falsely claimed that in the early mornings of October 5th, she left her home to meet her friend, Misty, to obtain Oragel when she actually traveled to dump her son's body. Who the hell goes and gets Oragel from a friend at 1 in the morning? And I'm not even joking. It literally says Oragel. The indictment states that Simon repeated the alleged false claims about her whereabouts and actions on the morning of October 5th in several interviews with investigators. Then on October 31st, she allegedly claimed that it was not her, but her boyfriend who left the house the morning of October 5th. What is Oragel? Oragel is the stuff typically you'd put like on a baby's gums when they're teething so it numbs it. Typically it's for a baby, but if you have tooth pain, that works just as well. However, on November 21st, the same day she was arrested, she allegedly admitted that she did leave her house on the morning of October 5th and traveled to the mobile home park plaza but falsely told investigators that she did not remember what she had done there. Human remains were discovered in the landfill on October 18th. The FBI confirmed that the remains were Quentin on November 28th. And that is as good as it gets for whoever wrote this shitty article that I decided to read, because that just left me in suspense. So we have a shitty mom who has a child and decides to just dispose of his body like trash. That's why I wanted to clarify it. And what's funny, well, it's not even funny. Those people are disgusting. And I don't understand what would push you to that. I mean, you can say drugs, you can say all this, but at the end of the day, I hate to say that drugs and alcohol are an excuse for anything, for anyone. I always like to say that I understand you might not be in the right mental state, but your morals shouldn't change. And maybe I'm wrong. I haven't done so. I'm not a perfect person, right? So I've done some things in my life that I'm not proud of, but I will tell you that who I was as a person and my morals didn't change. They never changed at all. And I think that's awful. Awful. Ooh, this lotion smells fantastic. Okay. Let me see. Hold on. Give me a moment. I don't know if this is entertaining to anybody. Again, we're new at this. We're new. We're trying it out. We're getting our feet wet. Sorry, some of these headlines are pretty horrific. But I'm not trying to stay away from the children ones if at all possible, but there's a lot of them, unfortunately. Lisa, what are we talking about? Let me see real quick, Lisa. My apologies. Lisa, I have not heard about that. So my original plan for any of this was to do kind of my own little crime podcast channel where it wasn't going to be my face. It was more going to be words on a screen, maybe a background of some sort to try to entertain you. And it was really just going to be my voice. But doing the live stuff, I wanted to do something different aside from reading comments and doing things that some of the other channels are doing. So I wanted to kind of steer away and do my own thing. I'm not really sure how this is going to work out, just because I know most of you are doing your own talking back and forth. You know, I can kind of look over and see what you're saying. But I don't know. I don't know if this is the right way to be doing these, or if I should be doing shorts like Fools mentioned. Fools mentioned I should just do a little short, and we can kind of go from there. So you'll be good at it. I'm gonna try, Patrick. I will try, because reading out loud and on screen for people is, I'm not intimidated by it by any means. If I screw up, I screw up. But I guess the whole point is engagement, right? And hello, Jeremy. And so, I'm sorry, Lewis. Yeah, so again, I'm just trying to see if this works for you, for me, for everyone else. But so we don't know who did it till the end. Okay, so I do have another one for you, because we're not terribly far into the live, but this headline reads, "Man told police he and girlfriend fought like men after he killed her with hammer and knives." Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, Jeremy. But it wouldn't be a short. Maybe it would be. I'm not sure. Okay, a 50-year-old man in Michigan will spend the rest of his life behind bars for brutally killing his girlfriend, stabbing and beating her to death with a hammer inside her home before attempting to abscond in the victim's car with her credit cards and prescription drugs in tow. So here we are, killing over money and drugs. Story of our lives. So he is ordered to serve a life sentence of prison without the possibility of parole for the 2001 slaying of a 47-year-old Kathleen Hales. In September, he was found guilty on one count of first-degree premeditated murder, a mandatory life without parole offense, as well as larceny from a building, unlawful driving away of a motor vehicle, and stealing a financial transaction device without consent, aka her credit cards. The verdict came following a 10-day trial that was prosecuted by the Macomb County Assistant Prosecutors. According to a news release, authorities on the afternoon of Saturday, July 24th, they responded to a call about an injured adult female inside of a mobile home in Sterling Heights, just over 20 miles north of Detroit. Some of you may know this area. Authorities said that the female was brutally murdered, stabbing her multiple times with 3 different knives and repeatedly hitting her with a hammer. Is money and pills worth it? I don't know. He hid the body and fled with the victim's credit cards, prescription drugs, and her car. He was apprehended in Michigan with one of the murder weapons and the victim's belongings. They did say they found signs of a struggle, obviously. Let's see. Sorry, I'm skimming over this because I don't feel like I need to read some of the non-important information. So the defendant put a hammer to her head while she was defenseless, laying there, yelling for help. So this stupid dude decided he was going to represent himself during the trial. He said that he killed her in self-defense. Oh, sorry. Good job. Thank you. I'm sorry. I'm just reading what is here, but yes. Thank you. He told authorities that he and his girlfriend fought like men before he was able to overpower and unalive her. My apologies. Let's see. That was really it. That article wasn't very informative, but why does he need to delete the comment? Why? What happened? What's going on? I love it, fools. Also, camera quality is amazing. Thank you. Live instead of the actual word. And why isn't this working? Am I frozen? Because I'm looking at myself and it shows frozen. What are we looking at? Am I frozen? How do I fix it? I don't know. It's black. What do we do to fix it? No visual. I don't have a visual either. Hold on. How do I fix it? How do I fix it? I can't restart. If I restart, then it's just, that's stupid. Look at fools. He's like, don't restart. Well, that is awful. Yeah, just keep talking. Okay, fine. I'm back. Hi, how are you? Hi, how are you? Yeah, I apologize for the words of my using. Let's see. So I guess my question to any of you, because I'm looking. Okay, I have a different one. Wow, you're magic. Maybe. I don't really know what I did, but I fixed something. Woman. Hold on. Red Bull. Woman who killed pregnant victim. She met on Facebook. Are you ready? Cut the fetus from her womb and claimed the child as her own. Can we just start over? Can we just get like a Noah's Ark happening? Flood the earth. I'm ready to start over. I don't want to do this anymore. My Georgia true crime. Yeah. A 44-year-old woman in Missouri will spend the rest of her days behind bars for kidnapping and unaliving a 33-year-old pregnant woman and her unborn child from Arkansas in a botched scheme to steal the mother's to-be baby and claim the unborn child as her own. Oof, that's fair, Lewis. I appreciate you stopping by. So she's going to serve 2 consecutive sentences of life in a federal correctional facility for the unaliving of the 33-year-old and her unborn daughter. There's no chance for parole in this particular court case. I'm just skimming here. So the lady who was sentenced, her name is Amber. She contacted this person on Facebook while the victim was 31 weeks pregnant. She pretended to help her get a job by telling her she had an opportunity the victim could fill. The interaction prompted an in-person job interview between the 2 women on October 28th, 2022 at the public library in Arkansas, where this lady offered the victim to work from an at-home position for a company based out of Arkansas. So on October 31st at roughly 11:45 a.m., she met Waterman, which is the victim, at a convenience store under the pretext that the victim was talking to her to meet her supervisor to further discuss employment. She then got in a truck driven by the by Waterman. Amber then kidnapped her and drove the pregnant woman to her residence in Pineville. I'm just making sure I'm omitting some of the things in here. So at about 5 p.m. on Halloween 2022, first responders reported to the Longview store in Pineville for an emergency call of a baby who was not breathing. The Waterman admitted that she claimed to first responders that she had given birth to the child in the truck while on the way to the hospital. But in reality, she admitted the child was the victim's, who passed away as a result of the birth. So an autopsy determined that the manner of her unaliving was a homicide, and the case of death was penetrating trauma of the torso. Sorry, I wasn't sure if I wanted to read that. Then they say Amber shot and unalived and used a knife to try and remove the unborn child, and also attempted to burn the body. I'm really not sure I should be reading this on live. This is awful. I'm like so like weary now about saying anything. And that's the end of that article. Ew, you should see your husband. Gross. Who is doing what? Crow, what? What? Yeah. I don't know about some of these people on the internet or anybody in the world. This is why I don't have friends. I'm just going to tell you. This is why we keep our circle small. You look familiar. Almost got you. I'm really trying to find something that doesn't have a child. So these crimes aren't going to be easy. They're not. And you know, Starla, I thought they were going to be a little more censored. So some of these articles I did read prior to. Other ones I've just randomly picked. I will tell you, I'll go ahead and read you the one that I was telling you about yesterday with the freezer incident. So headline reads as follows: head and arms found in Colorado freezer identified as 16-year-old girl. So a human head and arms found in a freezer in Grand Junction early this year have been identified as belonging to a 16-year-old girl in the Mesa County Coroner's Office. The Mesa County Sheriff's Office was called to a home in the 2900 block of Pinion Avenue on January 12th of this year after people cleaned out a recently sold home, found what they thought were possible human remains. The items were determined to be a human head and forearms with the hands attached, the coroner's office said. All of the body parts were found. Oh, that's wild. I just got a random thing about crime. All of the body parts were found to belong to 16-year-old Amanda Overstreet, who the coroner's office said was a resident of both Grand Junction and the Harris County, Texas area. The remainder of her body has not been located, but her death is being investigated as a homicide. I would hope so. According to the Mesa County Sheriff's Office, Overstreet, Amanda, was the biological daughter of the previous owner of the home. The agency said that she had not been seen or heard from since April of 2005. That would be as old as my daughter, so 19 years ago, when she would have been 16 at the time. They said there are no records that show she was ever reported missing. And that's the sad part. Was she homeschooled? Was she in one of those poor conditions where the parents never brought her out? Because we see a lot of stories like that. The circumstances surrounding her disappearance remain under investigation. So let's see. White hazmat looking suits. That's what caught my eye at first, said a neighbor from across the street. That was what was the most surprising. My apologies, still skipping over you into crime stories all day long. I wanted to be a homicide detective, but my life took me to a place of being a mom at a young age, and that's where I ended up doing things. So it turns out that the new owners of the house posted online that they were looking to sell a bunch of the garbage that was left behind, scrap metal and things that people could repurpose. And there was a deep freezer that was posted up for grabs. She said when people stopped by to pick up the freezer, they asked whether they could use their restroom, and that's when she started asking questions. I let them in, and cautiously I was like, what's going on? And they continued to tell me that they opened the freezer to empty it so they could port it. And they said this portion fell out of the freezer. And again, I'm sick and tired of these articles ending just such as that. And that's how that just ended. So that one was posted October 11th, and we are on the 15th, so 4 days ago. But again, I just got the notification that that just popped up. No, CJ, I'm not even close. There is a man in here. His name is Fools. That's my person. So this is ongoing, which is wild to me. And I definitely want to follow up on that because I'm not entirely sure how that's as good as that gets 4 days ago. But let me see an updated article somewhere else. See if they give more information. I'm scrolling, I'm looking. So the different article, same thing. Deputies have yet to publicly suggest any suspects. Bullshit, it was the parents. They're still looking into the circumstances of Amanda's disappearance, and they're doing forensic testing on the evidence. It's incredibly sad that no one knew she was there. No one that we're aware of knew she was missing, and that no one took the time to find out where the child was or what had happened to her. The neighbors said that the previous residents of the house just took off kind of overnight. You're sending me something. What are you sending me, Subi? I agree with you, Starless. Someone knew. So one of the neighbors said the home was always a complete mess. And if I could show you the outside of their home, it's kind of like your typical hoarder's home where they've got like a dilapidated boat in the front. There's tarps, there's trash. But I think that may be a lot of the stuff they were getting rid of if the people left behind. Wayne, I appreciate you. I don't really feel like it. I'm using too much. I'm gonna work on that. I'm gonna work on it. It just kind of looks like a hoarder house to me. It's not super clean. It's not extremely dirty. But I don't know who that is. But John, I appreciate you as long as they're appropriate and not weird. So upon arrival, deputies found the head and hands of a human that had been discovered in a freezer by someone who arrived to claim the free appliance offered by the new owner of the recently sold home. So I was a little confused with that other article, and the people that kind of stuck around and was like, hey, can I use your restroom? We're probably trying to be weird and do more investigating as they found what they found, which is pretty brave on their part. So the new owners of the house definitely don't have any affiliation with the previous owners. One of the neighbors said that the house, when you'd walk by, it would smell like mildew. But again, that's kind of where I was saying that the house looked a little run down to begin with. And no one knew where she was, which we kind of talked about. He said that the family were later asked what happened to her. They said that she got sent off to Texas somewhere. So, again, we hate people. I hate lots of people. Hello, Speedy. How are you? Cold cases. Yeah, I think cold cases would be great. Again, doing this live is a lot different because at least with a short or a video, I can edit out all my nonsense and read correctly, I guess. But I thought something different for those that are just coming in. Something different, something a little more entertaining, not just you looking at me looking at your comments. It got sent. Where'd you send it? I'm assuming we're talking DC, Subi. I've got a lot of tattoos. Not really. What happened? I will try that, Perla. I thought, the true crime current events wouldn't be so bad, but what I'm noticing, because I did some searches for today, it's not always going to be what I'm looking for. You're going to see a lot of crazy things or hear a lot of crazy things, but I kind of wanted it to be more along the lines of not so normal, such as the daughter who decided she should put her mother in a pan, which is not normal. And I really don't like talking about the child cases because that's a rough go. Very, very rough, even though they're important. There's a Florida woman who paid her ex-boyfriend $1,000 to help murder her grandparents because $1,000 is a lot of money. Just saying. The Zodiac. I think the Zodiac, they solved that one, Perla. Or am I thinking of the other one? I've listened and watched just so many podcasts. I agree with you. I absolutely agree with you. I think, my personal opinion, people may drop off this, and that's fine. I think if there is definite evidence that a person has committed a murder, and I'm not talking those that are on death row that we think they did it, absolute concrete evidence that points to this person did this crime, we should not be housing them in prison at all. Why are we continued to house them if we know they've done the act of unaliving? Thank you, fools. Thank you, 99. So I just think that's my opinion. Not everyone agrees with that type of punishment. Here in Idaho, they have the new law. So as many of you know, you've probably heard of it, that the Moscow murders, the 4 kids that were unalived up at the U of I here in our state, the person who was a suspect was moved to the local county jail here in the city. And right before I think it was right after they arrested him, Idaho changed their law that if lethal injection was not an option, a firing squad is. So that's kind of cool. We're taking it back to the old days, which I think we should just do it that way to begin with. Let's just get it over with. So firing squad is legal if lethal injection is not an option. $32,000 to house a prisoner in Wisconsin per year. That's interesting. I would have to see what Idaho is. I'm not entirely sure. There was an unaliving in Idaho like 20 years earlier. We have a lot of unalivings here, Mike. And it's funny because one of my favorite podcasts that I listen to is Morbid. And they actually came out with an episode this morning that I tried to listen to while I was getting ready about a unaliving that happened in this famous mansion that is near my job. And it's kind of funny because I was just talking to my daughter about that and she had no idea. I had taken her to that neighborhood because a good friend of mine when I was going to school lived 2 blocks away from that house. And the friend that I went to school with, her father was the warden at the prison. So he got a lot of death threats due to him being in that role. But I was just talking to my daughter about it, and the fact that they just did an episode on it was kind of neat. 99, I agree. Awesome, Dusty. Welcome. I would like to talk crime, ideally, in my future endeavors. So I appreciate you stopping by and giving support. I am trying something new, so I was going to do some true crime, current event stuff, and then more along the lines of the bigger cases that most people cover. That would be for my crime channel. And I also thought this would help give me motivation to do the crime channel because a lot of you who have been here a long time, love you. I have failed at making my promise with that one. So I thought this might be easier. Who's behind me? You want to see him? That's my smoking skeleton. That's who's behind me. And you want to know how morbid I am? Oh my gosh, I'm going to show you. Don't judge me. This is how morbid I am. You want to see what picture I have on my wall? I think I showed you this before. Yeah. That's who I am as a person. What is wrong with me? Don't judge me. And at least if you do, I don't want to hear about it. Don't want to hear about it. So, yeah, we'll see what happens with this. We'll see if it grows, if people enjoy it. If you have ideas for me, I'd love to hear it, which I think that's probably something I'd need to do on a video. Because here, I don't think I can go and see the chats afterwards, at least all of them. I'm able to see the top comments, but not everything. Unless I'm doing something wrong, which I wouldn't doubt because I don't know what I'm doing to begin with. Just don't start collecting hair. Ouija boards are not allowed in the house. Do not come over with one because you and the Ouija board will disappear. And there are certain things that I just don't, I don't want to say I don't believe, but I also don't want to F around and find out. So I'd much rather, I do have all the top comments on 99, or all comments, all messages, but when I go and rewatch my live, I'm not sure if I have to make that adjustment prior to being able to see that in a live. Exactly, Mike. Exactly. There are certain things I don't need to know about. And I think that stuff is real. I've never experienced it and I don't want to. A friendly ghost is fine, but a not so friendly spirit, I think I'll pass. Don't worry, I'll show you. Yeah, fools. Don't open up a can of worms that might affect us all. Where's Red? Red's gonna be like, can I just have a say in all of this? But maybe I should be a little more prepared going forward. I just thought I would jump on this quickly and, read a few things and see what happens next. Send that doll to my ex. What doll? I think I've told you guys this before. I used to have this Cricket doll. He'd put cassette tapes in her back and he'd press play, and her eyes would open and close, like she would blink. No, her eyes didn't open or close. She could move her eyes and she could speak, and the sound would come from her chest, right? And my grandmother got so upset when I threw out that doll, because I was a teenager at this point and I had it when I was young. This is why I can say the alphabet backwards, because she would say that, and that's how I learned how to do that. And I kept that doll at the top of the closet. Every time I'd open the closet, I just feel like that doll was looking at me. So I'm not a fan of those weird dolls. I don't know if you guys remember, you know the movie Caroline, right? Those La La Loopsy dolls, where it's the button eyes. Yeah. I ended up getting one for my daughter one year when she was younger. And they were extremely popular. It was like the Furby. Everyone was after the same damn doll, and one of those Christmases where everyone's after the same thing, right? Well, I ended up getting one of those La La Loopsy dolls, and my son hated it. Said the button eyes freaked him out. It was stuffed Michael Myers. That's fine. But the button eyes, yeah, the button eyes are creepy. Or the antique dolls, no thank you. No thank you. The porcelain ones, mm-mm. The Raggedy Ann is okay. And I know the Annabelle kind of looks like a Raggedy Ann, but you will not catch me as an adult. There are some people that collect dolls, right? Mm-mm. No, I do not. Not at all. I collect shot glasses. That's what I collect. Giovanni, exactly. I'm going to get her life-size Chucky for her chair. Don't do it, fools. Oh, wonderful, Avery. You deleted what you sent me. Subi, why? Why are you deleting and removing? Keep it. Michael Myers was paroled from prison and made to watch the movie. Carolyn, I love you. That's probably something I'd say to my kids. Google Good Guys doll. Hold please. I've got the Google machine in front of me. Like I've got the Google in front of me. Good Guys doll. Because that's how I was doing my stuff. Oh. So Chucky. So I had Cricket, which Cricket had a brother who had red hair, and they called him, shoot, what did they call him? Did anybody have a Cricket? Cricket doll, 1986. Oh, hold on, guys. Like, let me just, let me pull this up here. She looks a lot different. I'm like, she looks different. Just a moment. I'd like to show you a better picture, please. Okay, I'm going to show you this picture. That was her. She was like, what, 3 feet maybe? Yes, exactly, Kurt. I had her. That's the doll that I had. And I would swear to you those eyes would move when she was in the top of the closet, but we won't get into that. That looks like Coffee Elf. Mike, stop it. But anyhow, I don't know if you want me to do this. Again, this was just new, me trying this. I don't know if you want this every day or if you'd prefer me to do the video part, but you guys let me know what would work best for you. I appreciate everybody that showed up and everyone that gave me support, so thank you for that. Next story, please. I was talking about the cricket doll. But I really would like to know what you guys would prefer as opposed to what I think is going to work. Because the whole reason why anyone's looking at this is because of you, right? I'm just here. So you're at 91 likes. Wow, look at me. And I just barely hit over an hour. That's exciting. I am looking at cases because I was asked to. And I'm trying to get away from the think of a crazy silly. Make videos and then go live. Thank you. That is a great idea. And that's what Fools definitely discussed with me earlier. I'd like to be more in depth, and with these articles, the journalist is crap. I'm just going to tell you right now. They just end it with a sentence that isn't even an ending sentence. So let's see. Oh. Hello, Glenn. How are you? I'm not going to do that one. It's not an unaliving. It's just a mother who's nasty. Why? Nope. Another toddler. Okay. Thank you. I'm doing phenomenal for my first show. There is so much about children. It's upsetting. I am disgusted. Oh, let's read this one. Oh, I think this is the one I already read. Let's just double check. Nope, the guy looks the same as the other one. So, we're going to read this one. Lisa, I was trying to do a screenshot to do that. So, I did it. I did the screenshot thing. All right. Florida man who killed unalived his girlfriend. Sorry, I'm new. I apologize. Claimed she stabbed herself 5 times, including once in the back. Because that happens. A 53-year-old man in Florida was arrested this week for allegedly unaliving his girlfriend, stabbing her multiple times, including once in the back, and then claiming her wounds were self-inflicted. I know, and Starla, I apologize because I'm reading it as it's put, so it's difficult because you have to remember to do it. On the evening of March 9th, the Pinellas County Sheriff's Office responded to a call regarding an allegedly suicidal subject in Petersburg, Florida, which is about 20 miles southwest of Tampa. According to the release, the caller told the emergency dispatcher that his girlfriend had stabbed herself and was deceased. Upon arriving at the scene, first responders said they located her in her bedroom, suffering from what appeared to be multiple stab wounds to her chest and abdomen. She was pronounced unalived at the scene, and a knife found at the scene was taken into evidence. The boyfriend was still at the scene when deputies found his girlfriend, and he spoke to investigators about what he claimed had happened. He told detectives that he was sleeping, and when he woke up, he witnessed his girlfriend go in the kitchen and retrieve a knife before returning to their bedroom, where she began stabbing herself. And the boyfriend attempted to stop the girlfriend, but he was unsuccessful. However, authorities say his story wasn't correct based on physical evidence and his own statements. As the investigation continued, detectives said they located an additional stab wound on the girlfriend's back. They also said that following her death, I think I can say death, right? He's a backstabber. Ariel, that's awful. Provided detectives with several inconsistent statements about what had occurred. When detectives interviewed him, he initially mentioned and claimed that she stabbed herself, but then continued to provide detectives with inconsistent statements. You've said that twice now, journalist. I don't know why we're repeating ourselves. Eventually, he admitted to stabbing her in the back. Look at you, Ariel. You figured it out, you detective. But maintained the other stab wounds were self-inflicted. Makes perfect sense, right? Let's see. She first threatened him with a knife, then stabbed herself in the abdomen. It was only after she had stabbed herself that the boyfriend claimed he stabbed her in the back. She had suffered 5 stab wounds, 3 in the chest, 1 in the abdomen, and 1 in the back. He is in jail and has not been indicted yet. So, Detective Ariel. Congrats! Really? Well, that's exciting. Thank you, fools, for checking on that. I had no idea that I would gain that many over this. Can we troll these stories? Which ones? I'm happy to see in this. If I did a video, I would absolutely share you the link so you can go check it out for yourself. And then, you know, if you wanted to look into it further, hello, you would be able to do that. All right, you ready for another Florida one? All of them Merc stories. Yes. I have 3 tabs? 4 tabs. How many stories have I told? 4? 1, 2, 5. I don't know. But Florida man. We're back in Florida really quick. Can you put the link in the chat? Kylie, I am currently looking at the website called Law and Crime. So I can put that on my community little page if you wanted to go look it up. There is a lot of weird stuff out there, and it's not just crime, it's law stuff. There's political stuff on there. There's the good, the bad, the ugly. The big man in the music industry, that's on there. There's a lot of stuff. Florida man is always a good start, right? Florida man who told cops his missing wife was in heaven after things got out of control is now convicted of murder. Perla, I appreciate you. Thank you for stopping by. A 59-year-old man in Florida will spend the remainder of his life behind bars for unaliving his wife. Beating and stabbing the 51-year-old woman to death inside of her home, hiding her body in the woods, then destroying evidence of his crime before later telling authorities that his wife was in heaven. Before being sentenced, the jury deliberated for about 9 hours before finding Timothy guilty on one count of first degree premeditated murder, tampering with evidence, and failure to report a death. According to court documents, Lori's family and friends, so the lady that was unalived, on December 19th reported her missing to the police department. The following day, authorities found her car at a Days Inn motel, and the car had what appeared to be blood spatter on the front back doors. Whoever wrote this is awful. And at least one tire. Police also recovered a significant amount of blood evidence inside of the vehicle. Timothy was found to be staying at the motel. When officers made contact with Timothy, they said his hands, arms, and knees were covered with lacerations and abrasions. Later, they recovered women's clothing covered in blood and bloody towels inside a dumpster on the motel's property. During a search of the home, the two shared. Police said they found evidence that a violent crime had taken place in the garage, which included significant amounts of pooling and blood spatter, along with evidence that someone made an attempt to clean up the blood. Several items were located in the garage, which included an axe stained with blood evidence, a hammer stained with blood evidence, and a hair clip found on the ground in the area where most of the blood was concentrated. Timothy was brought to the police station for an interview where he admitted that he had been inside the garage and knew there was blood inside, and confessed to throwing the bloody towels and clothing in the motel dumpster. Timothy stated during an interview that Lori was in heaven and that things just got out of control between them while they were at the residence. And the argument would have occurred near the garage. As investigators continued to press Timothy about what happened to his wife, they wrote it wrong. He admitted that he had unalived her during the argument that took place after he came home from a night of using illegal narcotics, friends. After the unaliving, he put her body in his car and drove out to a wooded lot that was owned by a relative, where he hid her body in some tall grass. He eventually directed police as to where they could recover Lori. Court records noted that the couple had a history of domestic violence. In one particular instance in August, Timothy told his wife she was going to make him snap, and then bit her face, leaving a clear bite mark with teeth impressions. When police went to that disturbance, obviously they noted all of that. That case was still pending when he was charged with murder. And that's how that one ends. It's really bothering me how these journalists just end these stories the way that they end them. I agree. I'm telling you right now, if I get in a domestic dispute and Fools decides to try to take a chunk out of my face, I don't know about you, but I don't think I'm gonna stay around for a long time. Just saying. I would hope that it's mutual between the two of us, that if I did the same to him. You're absolutely right. Thank you. I appreciate you coming here to explain to everyone what I what I wish I could tell them. But I would hope that fools would do the same thing. I agree, Starla. Do I think about death? I do, and there's 3 ways that I don't want to go. Oh, fools, you timed him out, but he was just talking crap about my tattoos. Yeah, that's a really bad one too. They should do something, Wayne, because how they are ending all of these articles is crap. Whoever writes for you, Law and Crime, crap. Congratulations, 102. 102. Woo! Wow, cool. Thanks, guys. I appreciate that. We're gonna get, well, fools, we're only supposed to be here for an hour. I'm looking for the next story. I didn't realize I was going to be doing it this long. I didn't know what was going to happen. I'm going, Wayne. I'm doing this for you. Law and Crime, one of my first subs. Nice. I'm looking. There are a lot about children, so I'm really trying to skip over those ones. And okay, this sounds like an interesting one. Hold on. Because I typed in the word Florida. Florida man who used office supplies, including a hole puncher and paper cutter, to unalive coworkers, pleads guilty. A Florida man who used office supplies to unalive 2 colleagues in a violent workplace attack has pled guilty to more than 11 years after the gruesome slayings. Jose, I'm very disappointed in you, took the lives of his boss and his coworker at the location of Vanisa's company. It's a professional public adjusters. He bound the 2 victims in duct tape and used a variety of office supplies, including a mop handle and paper cutter, to take their lives. And I'm not sure I want to know about some of that. So Jose allegedly started embezzling from the company in December of 2011. And by April 2012, he had sent himself gift cards and goods worth around $3,500 using a company credit card. 2 days before the unaliving, he reportedly overheard the owner and the coworker on the phone with the credit card company about the charges. And prosecutors say that's when he started to plan the unaliving. 2 days later, after dropping his daughter off at school and picking up a wooden mop, dish towels, and duct tape, he allegedly showed up at the workplace with a bag containing a ski mask and extra clothing. He waited for his colleagues to arrive, armed with a pellet gun that he had kept at his desk. After the owner and the coworker arrived sometime after 9 a.m., Jose allegedly subdued them with the gun before duct taping them to office chairs. He reportedly forced the owner to call her bank and have a check issued to him from her personal account. What? When that didn't work, he used various office supplies to start beating his victims. At trial, prosecutors showed jurors pictures of the murders as well as evidence from the crime scene, including pieces of duct tape with dry blood stains and a bloody hole puncher. Jurors were also shown a mop with a partially cracked handle and rags covered in dry blood, as well as an office chair that was still covered in dried blood spots and hair particles. They also showed how Jose allegedly used the blade from a paper cutter, oh God, to attack his victims. Sorry. You know the big paper cutters? Ugh. I just think of like torture. According to prosecutors, the attacks went on for hours. The owner of the business reportedly managed to try and contact her daughter in New York, but she didn't answer the phone, while the coworker was able to reach his life partner in Italy and beg for help. Their efforts were rendered useless. Jose was reportedly confronted by police outside the building. Covered in blood, Jose ran across the street into an alley next to a supermarket where he was tackled. He reportedly confessed after 17 hours of interviews with police. He was charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder and 2 counts of armed kidnapping, as well as attempted robbery. This happened when? Oh, so this would have been December of last year that he finally went to his trial is finally happening December. I'm assuming that it's done now. But these actually took place back in April 28th of 2012. So that's about that one. And I'm sorry I'm going so far back in time. The ones that are recent are about children. So what are we talking about? He might have gotten away, right? Yeah, maybe. I'm not sure. Look up the crying boy painting. Why? No. No, thank you. I was like, wait, no. Try to trick me there, didn't you? Trying to trick me. I've seen enough ghost adventures to know what things I should and shouldn't see. And I think the crying boy is one of them. So we will leave that alone, along with looking in the eyes of Annabelle. So morbid sense of humor. Okay, I think I'll do one more. It's not a trick. I think I'll do one more, and then we will shut it down. Because there's not very many people. I appreciate everyone that's here. Love you all. Thank you for hearing my banter and my stuttering and my mispronunciation of words and my getting upset about the journalism of 2024. So, Florida man who fatally shot his girlfriend in the back because he had to put her down. Oh, okay, fools. But you know it fluctuates, right? So a 48-year-old man in Florida who admitted to shooting his girlfriend twice in the back filed court documents this week stating that he will seek immunity from prosecution under the state's Stand Your Ground law. The documents were filed on behalf of Richard, who is facing 1 count of second-degree murder with a firearm in the April unaliving of 46-year-old Allison. Stand your ground law. Stand your ground. should a pretrial, hold on, let me get to the details because I don't want to hear about the judge talking to everyone. Okay, so for context, he claimed that he had feared for his life because the female, who was also the mother of his child, was attacking him with a wine opener. So, you know, probably the corkscrew thing, when he shot her in the back multiple times. And they are saying that he's trying to do the stand your ground thing. And again, we have a not so great. Let's see. So on April 16th, police responded to the home on Smithville Drive. First responders said they found an adult female, later identified as Sheehan, so we will just keep her as that, who was in the master bedroom of the residence, and she had sustained multiple gunshot wounds. She was immediately transported to the regional hospital for treatment, but unfortunately succumbed to her injuries and was pronounced not with us any longer. So the dude was located on the scene and transported to the emergency room for treatment after he complained of being severely dehydrated. Complained of being severely dehydrated, excuse me. Investigators made contact with the dude's father, who had been at the couple's home earlier in the day to celebrate the birthday of the child. He shot her on his child's birthday. That's wonderful. He left the home at approximately 3:30 p.m., but that evening at around 10:30, the father began receiving text messages from his son regarding a violent encounter between the mother of the child and himself. Term, I can see you. I don't want you to yell at me. You should probably get something to write with. Like, I should get something to write with. I need a pen and paper. Hold. Wait, just a moment. I want to make sure that I am acknowledging you. Just a moment, please. Let me get some paper and a pen. Gregory Allen. Are you going to, is this a child thing? Gregory Allen Rodriguez. R-O-D-R-I-G-U easy. Okay, anyhow, I'm going to continue on. So the father had begun receiving text messages from his son regarding a violent encounter between the mother and the father. Allison was attacking me and I had to fire shots, is what the text message said, according to the affidavit. I had to put her down in self-defense. It's the only choice I had, waiting on cops. In other messages, he allegedly asked his father and brother to get cash from his safe and sent them photos of Allison's unalived body via text. After being released from the hospital, detectives interviewed him, who said that he and Allison had been together for about 8 years. He claimed that during their son's birthday party, Allison consumed excessive amounts of alcohol, and then they got in an argument later that evening, and she attacked him, attempting to claw his eyes out. He told investigators that Allison then pushed him into a dresser, knocking him to the ground, and then he went to the bedside table and removed his .40 caliber handgun from a safe as they kept arguing. He said they continued to argue and she kept coming at him. And he just got pissed off and wanted to put her down and had initially intended to shoot her in the leg so she would chill out. But he picked up his firearm and admitted that he shot 4 times. He didn't realize that he aimed high and thought he shot her in the butt. Not even joking. He was able to recall that one of the shots hit her in the shoulder and the remainder was in her booty. He said that he went to admit that Allison was facing away from him and walking in the opposite direction when he initially fired at her. He has a status hearing scheduled for March of this year. So he may or may not. He shot her in the back. Are you joking? By the way, if I pass, it wasn't self-defense. Yeah, well, it works both ways. Just remember, if anyone shoots me in the back. Mike, I've been doing my due diligence for a long time now. His status was guilty. I would agree. And that's how that ended. Another beautiful, beautiful article written. Well, some of these are funny. We'll know you didn't do it yourself. Yeah. I don't know. I don't really have any enemies. I don't have any enemies. I'd like to say I think I'm a well-liked person. I don't have anyone who would come at me in a negative way. I might piss people off, but I don't have any enemies that I'm worried about. I think there are people that should be more worried about me to them than I am to anyone else. I would agree, Robert. It's definitely, as I'm reading these to you, grant you I am picking and choosing and skimming over a lot of the article, but how they end is not my favorite. Oh boy. Sorry. I'm reading these little snidbits of the, my clickbait. I hate people. It's a shame. It really is. I'm moving to the next page, friends. I'm just scrolling through. Sorry. Wayne, you don't have anything to worry about. Florida man. I know. This is Florida woman and Florida man. But some of these are not appropriate to be talking about on the internet. I already said a couple of child cases, and some of these titles are so disturbing that I think I would have a hard time even telling you the story. I hate women. God, I hate women. Sorry. Sorry. I would read them out loud. Don't read it. Ian, I have to because I'm trying to find another little story to tell you guys. And I'm reading these titles, which is like 3 sentences long. If I could just read you some of these headlines, you would see why my face is the way it is. Okay, we're going to read this one. Boop. Florida man, Wayne, this one's for you. Florida man fatally stabs his brother for evicting him. Then goes to sleep with the dead body laying nearby. So that's how this one's going to start. Guarantee you, how much do you want to bet there's drugs involved? I'll put money on this before we read it. A 61-year-old man in Florida was arrested this week, not this week, that week during that time, which this was written, this was last year, September 5th. Was arrested this week after he allegedly unalived his 63-year-old brother, stabbing him to death because the older brother had begun the process of formally having his younger brother evicted. Donald was taken into custody on Monday morning and charged with 1 count of second-degree murder, dangerous and depraved without premeditation in the slaying of Edgar. Police responded to a call requesting a welfare check at a residence located in the 300 block of Pembroke Pines, Florida, which is about 20 miles north of Miami. Upon arriving to the address, first responders said they discovered some unusual circumstances that caused them to go inside the home. The department did not provide details as to what those circumstances were, but we're going to write about them and make you wonder. Inside the home, police said they found an adult male, later identified as Edgar, who appeared to have suffered multiple stab wounds and was pronounced dead on the scene. Officers continued to search the residence and soon discovered another adult male, later identified as Donald, who was asleep in bed. Our initial investigation revealed that the 2 males located inside the residence are brothers. Following an extensive investigation, 61-year-old Donald was taken into custody for second-degree murder. The incident was determined to be isolated and domestic in nature, and at no time was there any threat to the surrounding community. So, court records reviewed showed that Edgar, on May 30th, 2003, filed a complaint for unlawful detainer against his brother. The complaint in that case states that Edgar revoked his consent for his brother to remain in the dwelling and informed and demanded that he vacate the premise. So the brothers obviously lived together, as we know, and one of them was going to be evicted. The judge on August 25th entered a default judgment in the case and issued a writ of possession, commanding the sheriff to post a notice of removal on the property and to remove anyone aside from the owner from the premises. And that's it. That's how that ends. How does that have anything to do with what we talked about? It kind of doesn't. So. Thanks. Thank you, Sophia. So, I think next time I do this, we're going to try things a little bit different. Yeah, he killed his brother. Charlotte, I agree. And I apologize again for the writing of some of these stories that I had nothing to do with, nor did I write. So, but I've been going a lot longer on this live than I said I would. Jesus. That door is busted, dude.
I noticed.
You need to pick it up. Oh my gosh, what is this for?
Welcome to the 500 subscriber club.
Oh, really? Wow, guys, look at this. Oh, my friend is here. Come here, babies.
Oh my.
Yeah, I
did break the door. I just broke the door.
He broke my office door, guys. I'm here to point out journalism too. Oh, apparently I have 500 subscribers, guys. Oh, our friend wants to say.
501.
Oh, 501, friends. Look at that.
Appreciate all you guys.
We want to say hello. Say hi. Miss Kay, don't you leave me.
I'm going to get a drill.
Well, I got the new screws there in the Jeep.
Okay.
Miss Chaos went to the vet today and she got microchipped, so don't come at my dog because now she's chipped with my name all over it. No, don't bite. Don't do it. Don't. Girlfriend, no. I said no. That's not nice. Anyway, I'm not thinking about my headache. Keep talking about murder. Hold on. Carolyn, I'm going to take a shot. Yay for 500. The crown did it. Everything I hoped I could be. It's all about the murders. All right, my loves, I appreciate you. Oh, thank you for listening to my banter and things. So, I have a whole nother one of these in my cooler I brought back from the coast. Thanks, friends.
All right, I'll leave you to it.
I don't know what I'm doing. I thought I was done.
Come on, puppies. Come here.
1K! Yay! That'd be cool. Chaos, get out of here! Your dad's ruining my stuff.
Come here.
Yep.
I got it. Just shut the door.
Well, the drill. Why is he yelling at me? I appreciate you guys. That was really cool. I did not expect that. I was like 70 away, so that's fancy. Anyway, what I would like to ask you though is honestly your opinion. I know I kind of talked about it earlier and then I went into Matsy, I appreciate you. I really would like to, do you like this? Do you want me to just read crap off the internet? Let's see. We're looking up some more stories on the fancy Google machine. Stuff in Mexico. Thank you. Thank you, Crow. Not in a motorcycle shop. Fool said, come in here and do it. And I was like, no, you know what? I'm gonna go into my office because this is where the things were my things I wanted to be. Two different areas. So I did not. I don't even know how to say that, Amanda. Reading stuff cold is fun, right? Yeah, I have no idea what's happening. I'm just randomly reading stuff, and I'm like, well, that was weird. Hold on, I'm gonna write that down because I don't know what that is. Hopefully you spelled it right, and if not, the Google will take over. Robinson. Crime Report, India News, homeless man. Hold on, let me go back down to my comments. Thank you, Amanda. I appreciate you. That's kind of what I thought it was, but okay, Crow, I got you. It's like I need this big long list. And what I could do is I can post it in the community for the, if you have ideas, you can just comment them in the thing. That way nothing gets missed. So. Five arrested. Let's talk about this one. This was October 14th. So we will read another one because apparently I have to keep going. So appreciate you, Reggie. Thank you. 5 arrested, including 3 minors in connection to Taylorsville house party murder. Again, this was posted October 14th. So this is in Taylorsville, Utah. We're taking it out of Florida and we're going to Utah. And this is a news article I just found on the Google. Thank you, Amanda. I appreciate you for stopping in and listening to my banter. I don't know why you would call me a bitch. I'm so much more than that, but I've been called so much worse. So thank you. So Taylorsville, Utah, court documents are revealing more about a house party turned murder scene in Taylorsville on Sunday. Police have arrested a 44-year-old woman, Ariana, in relation to the murder of Jorge. We don't need to say his last name. Not right now. Sorry. The 19-year-old daughter of Ariana, was also arrested in the case. According to the court documents, police were called to a home at 3:39 Sunday. When officers arrived, they found people leaving the house. Officers entered the home. Sorry, I got another crime alert on my phone. Officers entered the home and found Ariana on top of Jorge, who was lying on a bed with a gunshot wound to his neck. Ariana would leave the room as police and paramedics confirmed that Jorge was no longer with us. Ariana was then found fighting with another woman in the home when police detained her. According to witnesses, the home was the site of a house party earlier in the night. That's when they say Ariana and Jorge got in an argument, resulting in Ariana striking Jorge and leaving. Later, the witnesses say she would return with two men and another woman, pushing their way into Jorge's room. A gunshot was heard before two men and women Ariana brought with her would leave. When officers searched the neighborhood, they found videos showing a red Chevy Cruze. Wow, watch out for the Chevy Cruze. Parked nearby. 3 people could be seen getting into the sedan following the shooting and leaving. The car was found later, parked outside of Ariana's home in Ogden. Police would interview Ariana's daughter, who admitted her mother called her from Jorge's home asking for a ride. She said she and 3 others came to the home in her mother's Chevy and admitted that her mother forced the door open so she and the others could enter Jorge's home. Once the shot was fired, the daughter said her and the 3 others she had come with, sorry, I'm trying to understand what they're writing, come with, then went back home. Okay. Police would contact one of the juveniles who had also admitted to entering Jorge's home and hearing a gunshot. Ariana told police that she called her daughter to come and pick her up, but claimed that her daughter never arrived. Instead, she claims that she waited at a park about 15 feet away from the home. That's when she said she heard a gunshot and entered the home and found Jorge in the condition that he was in. No, I don't, Crow. That's the one thing I don't have, and I will not purchase that. Ariana claims she then held pressure on his neck until the police arrived. She denies having anything to do with the death. Upon further interviewing, Ariana would admit to forcing Jorge's front door open and entering with her daughter without his permission. The daughter is currently facing charges of aggravated battery, while her mother is facing charges of aggravated battery and murder. 3 minors, 2 15-year-old boys, and a 16-year-old boy were also arrested in the case. The charges they are facing are still unknown. Ariana Grande. No, just Ariana. Do the free trial. Don't I have to buy the little box thing? I don't want to buy the box. You're a minor. Who's a minor? I'm definitely not a minor. I am twice over the legal limit of drinking age. Why are we doing this? Robert Penrose. Robert, is that someone you want me to look up? Oh, Crow, why would I do that? I think I have every other streaming service on this earth. I'm assuming you want me to write this down. I'm writing it down, and if you're being funny, I'll figure that out later. RHOADES. Okay, let me see something here. Let me go back down. Thank you, Russ. I appreciate you. He's the truck stop killer. Only so you could check out Curtis's. I think I wrote down Kurt's suggestion. Okay. Are we done here? Do you guys want to go out and listen to someone else do their lives? It's only on Apple TV. Nobody's ignoring you. You're being obnoxious and you're calling people minors. I'm clearly a freaking adult. Starla, you're amazing. I have it for you. Okay, Charlie, we see you're excited. Just make sure you're registered to vote. Well, you don't have to be rude here. That's not even necessary. This is all about murder and love. And if you don't like either, well, I don't know what to tell you. So let's see, you said, hold on. Truck. Murder and move. Sophia, I'm with you. Why are you so upset? Okay. I feel like Mike and Jeremiah could give us some insight on truck stops and the crazies they see on the road. Or if you have family members that are truck drivers and the things that they see out there. Thank you, Wayne. I'm just trying to find which particular, hold on. Hello, my love. I hear you. Robert Ben. Ooh, what's the face he's making? Oh, that's what he's doing. Hello, hello. Murder and love? No, definitely not that. You know what, Sophia? I would never do a tattoo if you're not sure. Because they are pretty permanent. I am looking up Robert Rhodes right now. And I am doing my best at... Oh, this one might be good. Oh, I could read this whole thing. This is the whole thing. We could do that. So let's see. Have you guys heard of the truck stop murders? No, we're not doing that. That's for a full thing. We can't do that one. And under the influence. So I think that one's for an in-depth video. So we should probably wait on that one. No, I am not single. 5'11"? Fantastic. Okay, here's what I think we should do. I'm like, let me just go back to. I don't like not being prepared here. I'm looking. Okay, I found one. Salt Lake City. So, the title is Wife charged with missing husband's unaliving. Court documents describe what happened to him. Thank you, Wayne. I don't. It makes me uncomfortable. Salt Lake City. A Cottonwood Heights woman who was arrested on suspicion. Get out of here. Sorry, I got an ad that just popped up. Was arrested on suspicion of her husband's murder after he disappeared in September, was officially charged with first-degree felony along with 8 other felonies. Jennifer was charged Tuesday with the murder of Utah National Guardsman Matthew Johnson, as well as obstruction of justice, drug possession with the intent to distribute, witness tampering, and desecration of a human body. A full timeline of events, according to public court record and police statements, is included in this article I'm about ready to read. Let's see. All right. She was arrested. No, hold on. She was arrested after an informant contacted police. What is all that noise? What are you doing, friend? Like, what are you doing? She had admitted to shooting Johnson while he slept, sharing details about what happened to his body afterward. So the informant was, goddamn, people are hoes, was a man that she was having a relationship with while being married. So he turned, of course. The 8-page charges state that the Utah National Guard was going to list Johnson as AWOL when he failed to show up for work on September 13th, which the Salt Lake County District Attorney's Office stated was very unusual. Detectives note that nobody, including family and coworkers, have heard from Matthew since September 21st, which is inconsistent from his normal pattern of life. One of Johnson's fellow guardsmen contacted the Cottonwood Police Department on Wednesday to report him missing. No, Sophia, she was the cheater. But yes, she also had her dude switch on her. So the police investigators contacted her 3 days later. That's when the documents alleged that she too wanted to report that her man was missing. She stated that Matthew had not been seen or heard from since September 20th, when they had an argument at their home in Salt Lake County. She stated that Matthew told her he was going to be gone for a week and not to call him. The two had been in the process of a divorce, according to court records, and a temporary protective order had been granted to her several weeks prior. Citing lack of evidence of abuse, that protective order was dismissed by a judge 4 days before Matthew's disappearance. So she lied and said he was abusive. The judge was like, "You're stupid. I'm not going to grant you this protective order. No, thank you." The charging documents state that as of Tuesday afternoon, Johnson's body was still unaccounted for. On September 28th, the informant contacted police to tell them she admitted to murdering Johnson in his sleep. He said he hadn't reported it earlier because he wasn't sure she was telling the truth. So she told her side piece, apparently, that she did the thing. And here's how I see it. If someone tells you that they did that, probably believe them. Just a thought. I don't know. If someone came up to me and said, "So I did this thing," don't think people really joke about that, and I would really take them, I think I'd take them serious. It's not a joke. But sometimes we don't like to involve ourselves, right? So the Salt Lake County District Attorney's Office used the informant statement as the bias for its felony charges. People lie to have credibility. There is, true, but what's the worst case scenario? Someone tells you they unalived someone, you report it, and it was fabricated. Fantastic. Or they were actually being honest, and now someone's loved one is, they know what happened to their loved one, I guess is what I'm getting at. So the lady, I hope my husband is asleep. Yeah, exactly. Even if it's family. I honestly don't mind. True. So she told the informant that Matthew had returned to the home on September 20th and started yelling at her because he knew she had been sleeping with someone else. She told the informant that on the night of September 21st, she had shot Matthew in the head with Matthew's 9mm Glock as he slept in their shared bed. She stated that she smashed Matthew's cell phone and hid his vehicle in a neighborhood near their house. She told her informant that she loaded Matthew's body into a rooftop storage container, slid him down the stairs by herself, and loaded him onto the back of her minivan. She stated that she had taken Matthew's body north, dug a hole, and buried him in a shallow grave. The informant provided investigators with phone conversations he recorded and screenshots of texts between her and himself in the week following her confession. The informant said he was capturing the texts as she would quickly delete apparently incriminating texts after sending them to him. In one of the texts, she reportedly, what was that? What is happening? Sorry, I'm getting text messages, so I'm looking at my fancy watch. In one of the texts, she reportedly says that the informant wasn't more supportive when she admitted to unaliving Matthew. In these messages, she tells the informant that she assumed he would be like her, and if her friend told her a hypothetical story, she would say, "Let me get my shovel." She told the informant that if she was told the story she told him, she would take it to the grave. So she apparently was hoping that he would help her, is my guess. She's charged with the following: first-degree felony murder, 5 counts of first-degree felony obstruction of justice, second-degree felony possession of a controlled substance with intent to distribute, third-degree felony abuse, and third-degree felony tampering with a witness. So, she files for divorce on July 3rd with Matthew. August 21st, she files for a protective order. A protective order is initially granted, a temporary one. And then once the judge actually looks at what's going on, less than a month later, the judge drops it. They're giving me a timeline, so that's what I'm giving you. The case is officially dismissed on the 16th of September. September 17th, they have a conference for the divorce case on the 19th, so 2 days later. Hello, sweet like honey. On the 19th, supposedly the female shows a loaded gun to her side piece man. And on the 20th, the next day, this chick and Matthew's children go to her parents' home to stay the night. And then she divorced me. And hold on, we don't need to discuss every single little thing because this all happened on the 21st. So the 21st. Oh, a new mattress was delivered to her home that her parents helped deliver. They see her cleaning her house. The husband doesn't show up to work. Y'all are sick. Disgusting. I will tell you that I think the best part of this is by the 20th, she was arrested within 12 days. So that's what you get for opening your mouth. But that was that. We cannot fresh, but if you'd like to go do that on your own, you're more than welcome to. It's a free country. Mattress is always a tell. I know, right? I agree. Okay, so my loves, I really, really, really should call this my live stream for the day. And I would love to do this again with you tomorrow. And I'm really excited for those that stopped by to give some support. And Dylan, why are you yelling at us with your all caps? Thank you, Starla. And yeah, I have to leave. I have been talking about getting a new mattress. I hate them. I need, I sleep like crap. 99, that's awesome. I appreciate everyone that stopped by to listen to me read off the internet. Because again, I didn't know how this was going to work out. I didn't know what I was doing. Was just going for it. So I appreciate you all for hanging out with me and hearing my banter and my crime stories, because at the end of the day, crime is my passion in life. It always has been. Always, always, always has been. Ever since I was younger. Not because it's a fad now. I am 42. I have liked this since I was probably 15 years old. So I appreciate others that share my same passion and like to hear the weirdness that's going on in the world. And yeah, thank you for stopping in and hanging out with me and listening to me say 12,000 times, because I'm pretty sure that's how many times I said it. So absolutely, Ben. I will definitely try to do this again tomorrow. The goal is just maybe an hour a day, and we'll see what happens. So yeah, you all are amazing. Thank you for giving me a little part of your day, and I appreciate you. So I will probably talk to you on full stream, because I feel like I need another shot, because you all make me nervous. So anyway, I love you. You're amazing. And we're going to talk more crime tomorrow. Okay, I love you. Bye. Shut it off. Shut it off.